tall and tan, and young and lovely. The girl from Ipanema goes walking. Agua de beber, camarade. An entire album of bossa nova hits from Sean Connery. Crossovers we didn't know we needed, but we did needed. Oh, Gingy, if I had words, I would sing of the beautiful things that we see. That would be me. For you, my Gingy. With that being said, let's examine what printed. Einstein. Einstein in German means one stone, or a stone. David, printing admirably. Now we've got a shark, and then we've got a shark. Very sad indeed. Oddly though, it started printing fine, so this must be a tangle. This is a kind of rare one. I do make a large version of my normal T-Rex head. That's what this is. It's going gold, and I want to say it's international, but I kind of forget. This is a new one. This is a reptilian alien. Seems to be printing just fine so far, so that's good. D20 guy, almost done. Also, Big David guy, almost done. Sadly, the new printer, something happened with the extrusion. Maybe we'll just go ahead and replace this motor, because we might as well just go nuclear. I know all this stuff is fine. Big old coffee cup. You've seen one of these before. Big old dolphin. Good number of packages. Let's drop them off. This is I think the last day to do it. You know, it's kind of funny that at some point there were tons and tons of boomers who were against pirating. But you know that back in the 80s, they took their VHS player and recorded movies off of TV. Time to drop these little boys off. We got filament back at the shop, so it's not quite coffee time yet. Oh, heck yeah. Pains me to do this. Gonna wait for this to finish. Gonna package a couple things, and then it is coffee time. Einstein. This is a guitar luthier rest. When you're working on a guitar, you want to set the neck on this so that you can get to certain things, and it's just convenient. I'm using this stuff because I got it in a package, and I think it will be effective. Black and white David. Big ol' order of drumstick hangers. It is coffee time. You ever notice how historically, when you're looking back through the decades, music that was primarily marketed to girls, young women, whatever, tends to not be remembered very well? Whereas it's kind of less true for music that was more guy music, let's say. Think about Donny Osmond. Nobody's getting nostalgic for Donny Osmond, except maybe some people. Maybe it's never 0%, but people do not get nostalgic for Donny Osmond or the Partridge Family. Actually, they had a TV show. Think about the last time you've heard somebody get nostalgic for the music of Davy Jones. Do you even know who that is? Davy Jones, I believe, is one of the kids from the Partridge Family, and he was the big star. Now let's think about some guy music from the same era. Led Zeppelin, AC/DC. You could throw in stuff that's really popular, like Bad Company. It's not quite as well remembered as some of the other guys, but that stuff people still listen to. Now, disco is a special case because people have gotten nostalgic for disco, but it was really, really hated for a long time. Like, maybe one of the better examples against this theory is ABBA. Like, I kind of really don't like ABBA. They have a couple songs I sort of enjoy, I guess. But, you know, they were kind of hated for a while, but it's like they were just so big that people actually do get nostalgic for them. But then you think of like some of the other disco acts that were kind of girl disco. Maybe you could say like Earth, Wind and Fire and other people like that aren't exactly the most girly disco. But a lot of people don't really get into those. And also it's like there are bands like Heart or Pat Benatar. People do get nostalgic for those a lot, but they had lots of guy fans. I mean, girls were into all of these bands too, but like it was more of a guy thing. Think like Barry Manilow. Like, maybe it's not like there are zero people that get nostalgic about Barry Manilow, but of all the music from the 70s that has not aged well, it's like that is the weirdest anachronism almost that you could even think of. We could go to like when I was growing up. Think of all that just extremely fluffy pop music from the boy band era. I mean, like I said, there's always people that get nostalgic, but like, man, have the Backstreet Boys not aged well? Or let's think about Britney Spears. There's a lot to say there. It's a general trend. It's not something that applies in all areas, but like, I think the premise is basically true. Wow, with the leaves falling, it's kind of beautiful. To bring a little balance to that discussion, I mean, there are some of those artists that kind of were chick artists, let's say, that I kind of do like. I think the Monkees were kind of a lot better than people act like they were. Pleasant Valley Sunday, when you really listen to that song and how it's kind of constructed and stuff, and the lyrics, it's kind of like weirdly intelligent. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I do like that. I don't know what the listenership of Night Tapes would be. They might be kind of a chick band. I definitely really like them. I kind of get the vague impression that a lot of synthwave, vaporwave is a little bit of a guy thing, but I actually have no idea. One of the things about synthwave is like everybody who listens to it is like some weird anonymous person online. Not really, but it feels that way. For a second there, I thought there was a letter missing. It is that time of day. So good. Never gets old. Maybe one big exception to the chick music thing is Elton John. Like, I mean, everybody listened to Elton John, but I really get the impression that chicks loved Elton John in the 70s. And at least his early stuff holds up amazing. It's really just, it's perennial classic stuff. Okay, we're about to do something kind of special. Let's see. Hola. Hey, un burrito con chorizo. No frijoles. Okay. This place has these giant burritos, and they're only like $8. I have to consciously forget that this is here because it's so good and it's so cost effective. Actually, there's one meat that if you order, it's like $10, which is what I ordered. I kind of forgot that. But yeah, it's so good. The best places to eat on earth look like this. The guy who owns this place, who started this place, I made him a giant saber-toothed skull, and I actually made it for free for him because one time he just forgot to charge me for some tacos, and I felt weird about it, so I just decided to give it to him just to see what would happen, and he lost his friggin' mind. Took a little longer than normal, but yeah, there's a giant burrito in there. Something I like to think about sometimes is like, in the days before the internet, what are the equivalent of things after the internet, or things now? Like, You have magazines before the internet, and magazines have largely gone away. So what is that the equivalent of? To me, it's like the equivalent of a Facebook page or group or a website or something that has a specific theme. Because like most of the content and like pictures and articles written and stuff, that's kind of like a website, right? I know that school book fairs still exist, but back in the day it was like a special thing. Like people were so excited about their book fairs. Usually they were like scholastic book fairs or something like that. And it seems like the enthusiasm isn't quite there in the same way. I wonder what the like pre-internet version of that is. I meant post-internet. It's probably like YouTube videos or reels or something on Instagram, something like that. Because a lot of those books were kind of short books and you would buy a bunch of them. They'd be about like some frog having tea or like some woodland creature going on an adventure or something like that. I guess that's kind of like sort of like an Instagram reel or a YouTube video maybe. I guess it's hard to get a sense of scale, but this is a rather large burrito. Imagine getting that for $8. Crazy. This is a balanced meal right here. By the way, my screensaver, this is from a fan right here. This is one of those burritos you got to do this with because it's pretty intense. Oh, so good. So incredibly good. Time to get into some real stuff though. Oh, look at this. This came loose. That might have something to do with it. Cheese, door, stop. Everyone gets a cupcake. And there he goes. Little green boy. Random, but let me know if you ever had a conversation, probably online to be honest, like this. I don't like it when X person does this thing. Person you're talking to. Well, Y person does that thing. Maybe to make it a little more concrete, imagine this. You're a man. I don't like it when women do this thing. Well, men do that thing. How do they not then think, yes, but you think it's bad when men do that thing? You can see that this is a generic thing you could apply to many situations, many questions. But how do people think that's like a rebuttal? Maybe there's something I'm kind of missing here. But if I say, this thing being done by this person is bad, and you say, yes, but this other person does that too. Well, that doesn't make it not bad. This can be a sort of rebuttal if you defend that other person. Like, if you're defending person B, and you say, person A does this bad thing, and then they say, well, person B does that thing. The implication there is, well, you defend person B when they do that thing. Which I guess is, it's still not addressing the issue, but it is pointing out hypocrisy at least. But a lot of times you don't even get that, right? It's just, they just think of somebody that also does that thing, and they say that person does that thing. Maybe they're implicitly trying to tie you to that person. Like in the case of the men and women thing, maybe what they're thinking is, well, when they say, well, men do that thing, you're a man, and therefore you defend everything men do. Maybe that's what that's supposed to be, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you've ever heard that one. Finally, going to paint this. Of course, the fries are going to be yellow. This is going to be red. What that means is we're going to paint the fries first, then cover this and tape it off somehow. So I'm having to think about how that'll work, but yeah. And then we paint the rest red. Full D20 bank. Longtime viewers will remember I keep track of my personal expenses, and I'm trying to spend less and less each month. I don't sacrifice the coffee though, maybe once in a while, but we got a line here. Anyway, As you can see the graph here, this is the beginning of the year, and this is the last one is September, which of course is the last completed month. And you will notice that generally I have been successful. Now it's possible every once in a while I forget to log an expense on my phone in one of the categories. I'm hoping that's not too much of a factor because I really try not to. Every time I spend money, whether it's cash, card, whatever, I log the expense on my phone. It's possible that to some degree I just forget more and more, but I don't think that's much of a factor. Generally, even if I missed a few, you can see this is going down, which was one of the projects of this year. This doesn't include rent or utilities or things like that. This is just like expenses, sort of. I've gone through it before. You can see I started by about $58 a day, and last month, 25 is my new low. Now, like I said, even if I missed a couple transactions, this is probably less than 30. So it has been going down. Oh yeah, the point being, I've reduced it by almost half, you know, probably half to almost half, roughly speaking. That being said, we're gonna get the last few things painted, and I think we're gonna do some recycling. It's about time. We are also in the middle of painting the fries, so hopefully those will be done soon. David Can, this is actually going copper. I offer copper on a few items, and very few people, actually this is the first person that ever took it. Check this review out. Tim Train Engine. What a nice review. Got a bunch of stuff done. It is recycling time again. We're going through so much filament that it would almost be worth hiring somebody just to sit here and do this. But I want to at least do a little bit of it. I'll show you another review. Maybe I'll try and show all the good reviews and stuff. I kind of like the idea of highlighting positivity. This was one of those giant red Michelangelo's Davids. You guys have seen them. Cool design, outstanding customer service, 5 stars. Sometimes I just complain about the bad reviews or something that just doesn't make sense. It's sort of good to take a moment and actually like soak in the positivity too, you know. We're getting the walls stocked again. We still have 3 pegs, but I just had to take some rolls to print some things, doing the end of the day printing. We are going on a road trip tomorrow. The original printer that I was gonna go buy, where the battery thing happened a few episodes ago, the guy still got it, and I told him the car is all good to go. So we are going tomorrow. The guy's only available like 1 day a week or something, and I think they want $325. But yep, we are getting yet another S5. I'm not exactly sure where I'm gonna put it. I do have a couple of folding tables I can put somewhere, but we're at the point where we're gonna have to get creative. This is today's yield with the recycling. About to put the rest of this that's drained into the bucket. Didn't quite get it full today, but this will be like at least 2 days worth of recycling, I'm gonna say, which is nice. Pretty good amount. That's almost full. Made a lot of filament today. We're doing like 1 last roll per system, but I'm pretty much done here at the shop. So maybe we'll kind of wrap up. Here we go. Ooh. The end of the day sigh. I guess I didn't show this, but we fixed up the new printer and it's doing good. It's been printing basically all day, so unless something weird is happening, I don't anticipate any problems. Feeling really good about everything. Man, there's just so much preparation that you put into Christmas season, but like if you actually do it, It's still stressful, but it makes it so much better just knowing you're stocked up. Like, we're making a bunch of sharks. We've got lots of filament on the walls already, and we're still like a month away. Everything is just looking really good. Plus, now we're getting another printer tomorrow, so we will have 8 totally functional large printers, which is, I should actually figure out how much per day that could handle in business. It would be, most things don't take, well, the sharks don't take 2 days, but maybe divided by 1/2. So I could make, let's say the math would work out to be about 5 or 6 on average large things per day. Maybe we'll say 5. So that is a good bit. Plus, all of the sharks, hopefully for Christmas season, will be made already. So that effectively would hopefully add 1 or 2. So we could handle a lot of business. Maybe if I had been really, really diligent, we would have set up the large printers and the second filament setup earlier, even a month earlier would have been good. But like, I guess I don't have any real excuses. I was kind of focused on getting the new load of plastic, but whatever. I think we've got enough time to make Christmas season fairly comfortable. In new product news, I think the new reptilian alien head, which the first one failed. You may have seen part of it in an earlier episode quite a while ago, maybe a month ago, but it might be done tomorrow. It'll almost certainly be done by Sunday. Theoretically, that means we could get it listed, we could get it painted and listed probably by Sunday. I really want to get, like, I should really be putting out a bunch of new products before Christmas, because that's when things start to get popular. There's a lot of people who will save things on their lists during Christmas, and maybe they don't buy it for Christmas. They're just looking online so much, but then they start buying that stuff throughout the year. So Christmas is a great time, just before Christmas is a great time to be launching new products. Some of my biggest products ever were pre-Christmas launches. The Einsteins were. They were launched, I think, 2 months before Christmas. And they were a big Christmas gift that year, and they've sold for 4 or 5 years, something like that. Not like they did back in the day. Like, we were selling sometimes like 10 of those a day, 5 to 10 of those a day, but they still sell. So I'm grateful for all that stuff. This is a Christmas I feel like I'm really gonna be ready for. The other thing to consider is, like, we'll have all the filament saved up on the walls, but I can still produce like 8 to 10 rolls per day. So even the saved up filament won't get used as much as it normally would. I don't know. My mind is really thinking Christmas mode because it's the big thing now. And it's over a month of just insanity. But it's not so bad if you prepare. If you got an Etsy shop or some kind of business that's Christmas centric, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm grateful for all that stuff. So let me know in the comments what you're grateful for. It can be something small, it can be something big. Maybe you're grateful for your toaster. I mean, toast is great. You can put butter on it. You can put, like, you can make BLTs with it. You can make virtually any kind of sandwich with toast you make in a toaster. Just that's pretty big. So you can write about your toasters in the comment section or anything else. Let me know what you got going on, what projects you got going on, small things you're grateful for. We like to read it. We're the Gratitude Gang. Let me know. You'll probably get a heart, like, upvote, blah, 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 blah. Peace out, folks.